Pokémon can be divided into three categories: physical, mixed, or special attacker. Well, there's Pokémon like Shuckle who are essentially neither. You could argue its stats make it a mixed attacker, and its moveset, if anything, implies physical. Anyway, look, the point is most Pokémon fit into one of those three categories. But today, what if I play through Pokémon Platinum with a team that can't take advantage of their better attacking stat? Like Alakazam can't use Psychic, but instead can Zen Headbutt. For this run, I'll be playing on set mode, adhering to level caps, banning item use in battle, and using moves utilising a Pokemon's weaker attacking stat, except for the very early game due to limitations. Before we begin, quick question of the day: are there any Pokemon you enjoy using moves from their worst attacking stat? And with that, let's get started. I named myself Y-Roar, or E-Roar? Yeah, I'm so messed up my name backwards is error. I spawn in and check my trainer ID number. If it isn't odd, I'd reset. We meet Rowan, choose our starter. I pick Turtwig and name it Roars, because as a kid, my first game was Pearl, and I used a Turtwig named Roars. We'll be using Tackle until learning Absorb at level 9, but then Tackle will be banned. The early game is awkward following this rule, as most Pokemon just use Tackle, so it takes a few levels before it kicks in. So I beat Barry, make it to Rowan, who gives us the TM for return. A great asset for this challenge run. I head to Route 202, catch a Kricketot on the way, hoping for its 5% metronome held item, and the final route trainer takes Roars to level 9, and he learns Absorb. The challenge has begun. At Jubilife, I head west for the Old Rod, catch Magikarp. I was going to use one, but my team plans changed. Then heading to Route 204, I catch 3 Badoos with Poison Point, since contact moves are everywhere early game. As I head east, Barry stops me for round 2. Thanks to the Poison Point posse, they make light work of this fight, though absorbing for the win with Roars was a bit tedious. Up till now, we've been using placeholder team members, so let's get our first permanent team member, Abra. We find it early, and just look at those offenses. A perfect choice. We catch one and call her a Brawler, with a naughty nature boosting her attack. Perfect time to teach her that return TM. 8 attack at level 5. Let's go. Before continuing on, I also wanted Badoo since they evolve via friendship, and at level 7 Roselia learns Poison Sting, a physical move. So we run, and run, and run. And I really couldn't be bothered, but I kept going. Until evolution. 3 Roselias by Jubilife City. I bet nobody's had this exact team before. With a physical attack that can poison, and with Poison Point, this should make up the damage deficit in the early game. We reach Orberg and prepare for Rourke. The plan is to poison his team with Absorb in the back. I'll spare you the boring start, but the Poison Posse whittled down Geodude and half of Onix. Abrola tries to deal damage and fails, so Roars takes over. Absorb on Onix gets the easy KO, but the real threat is here. Cranidos. Razor Leaf would be far better, but we'll have to make do. Things get pretty dicey. A Headbutt flinch definitely doesn't help, but with the health recovered by Absorb, especially when put into the Overgrow range, it keeps us afloat. And after a few turns, the Dino finally goes down. That wasn't so bad, but Absorb strats won't save us for Gym 2. We head to Floroma Town to deal with the Galactic Grunt at the Valley Windworks, quickly dispatching him with a Brawler, who reaches level 16, evolves, and learns Confusion? Useless. We fight the Grunts in the forest, earn the building key to take on the dreaded Commander Mars, with a Perugly. At this stage, it's ridiculously strong, and while I'm not imposing level caps for these intermediary boss battles, I don't want to outlevel them if possible. I lead a Brawler to her Zubat, return thankfully 2 shots, but this is where the fight actually begins. I immediately switch to a low level Roselia, which is knocked out instantly. That's fine, time for our main Roselia. We poison it, our team is taking a lot of damage, but the poison is doing its job. Eventually I send in Roars, Absorbing Poison slowly but surely lands the knockout. We continue north to Eterna Forest, where we meet our next permanent team member, Ghastly. I mean, come on, my channel mascot is Haunter, it learns a lot of physical attacks, how could I not? We catch one and name it Thrashly, cause it'll thrash you physically, I guess? After clearing the forest, I reach Eterna City and locate the name rater. Abroller is now Kadabroller, and Roselia, at least our main one, deserves a name. Rose Swolia? Yeah, that'll do. Now it's time for Gym 2, Gardenia the Grass-type leader. I start with Rose Swolia to her Turtwig. Here's the plan. Poison, Sting, Spam, all while holding the metronome, which we found from a Cricketune, to slowly amp up the damage. Turtwig is tanking easily, especially with Reflect, but Gardenia's team almost exclusively uses grass attacks, which Roswolia quad resists, giving us so many turns to chip her team down. 1 super potion and 8 poison stings later, the Turtwig faints. Next in Cherrim, the most it can do is Magical Leaf, so it goes down pretty quickly as well. But now Gardenia's ace Roserade comes out. I switch to Thrashly and land Curse. It still takes a while with Roserade's Citrus Berry and another super potion from Gardenia, but eventually the flower goes down. Next on the docket, the Team Galactic HQ with Commander Jupiter and her level 23 Skuntank. The grunts we clear out easily enough, but Commander Jupiter I'm not so sure about. She leads with Zubat, which we dispatch in 2 returns. Then here comes the Stinker. Kadabrola gets a bit of chip damage in, but she faints to Night Slash. Roswolia next sets up a Leech Seed, paralyzes, and takes Skuntank down fairly low, but ultimately faints. Now Thrashly is in to Curse, before also being knocked out. It's all down to Roars. Grass Knot for the knockout? 1 HP? Phew. GG noob, I was never scared. Okay, that was close. Our team of weaklings are quickly finding themselves being pushed to their limit. When we face bigger teams, all fully evolved, then I'm concerned how we'll fare. As we get ready to head south, we're stopped by Cynthia, who rewards us with a Togepi egg. You know how you're always hoping and praying the Togepi will have Serene Grace? This time, I'm hoping for Hustle. That's right, this is our newest team member, Mr. Thimble, Lonely Nature, a hustler. Slap the Smooth Bell on that MFer and we're good to go. We clear the cycling route and explore the caves underneath. I'm being quite thorough in this playthrough, with picking up items, fighting every trainer and so on. It takes a bit of time, but we make it through to Mount Coronet and onwards to Hearthome. And at level 25, Roars finally learns Mega Drain. Now he can evolve to Grottle. Yeah, basically I wanted this move by Gym 3, but the level cap is 26, and Grottle learns Mega Drain at 27. Thanks to the Soothe Bell, Mr. Thimble also evolves prior to Fantina, and Thrashly evolves at 25, so that should do good work for this gym. Let's nab Badge 3. Fantina leads with Duskull and me with Thrashly. I was hoping Shadow Punch would OHKO, but it wasn't even close. And we get Will-O-Wisp. No problem, Shadow Punch still does enough to secure the second turn KO, and Miss Magius is next. Thankfully we outspeed and land a Curse. Next in comes Roars, who I'm hoping can tank long enough. With Shadow Ball doing under half, it's looking possible. That was a damage range, come on. Kadabrola comes in, Thief doing nothing. I do a well-timed switch to Mr. Thimble. Miss Magius is brought low, and I figure, stuff it. It'll faint to the Curse anyway. Let's Metronome for some fun. We get Heat Wave. Some of you might think that's cheating, but it literally didn't matter this turn, so deal with it. Fantina's last Mon, Haunter, switches in, and Mr. Thimble slowly debuffs it with Charm, before I send in Kadabrola to safely take it down with a few Thieves. Gym 3 down, Shadow Claw TM for our troubles, perfect for Thrashly. Just as I'm about to leave, Barry stops me. Kadabrola vs Staravia is close, but we come out on top. Roars OHKOs the Buizel, and the Monferno, the lucky MFer, Flame Wheel burns both Thrashly and Roars, and crits Mr. Thimble, but thankfully does eventually go down. Lastly, his Roselia is defeated in the mirror match against Roswolia. 3 for 3 Barry, step up your game. Now I rush to Veilstone, skipping every trainer I can, to head straight to the department store for the TM's Focus Blast and Fire Blast. Who could those be for? Well, I rush back to Mount Coronet for our next team member. The beautiful little homunculi Machop? No, Mage Chop. Naive nature, no guard ability. What does that do? Well, it means he can't dodge any attack, but all of his attacks will land, even on a flying opponent. So why not teach this fella those high-powered, low-accuracy special attacks? I'm so excited to use this guy. Its special attacks are quite limited and those moves are low in PP, but I think it has potential. We ain't done yet though, as it's time we head underground. We're going fossil hunting. This is why I needed my trainer ID to be odd. If it was even, I could find the armor fossil for Shieldon, but an odd ID means I can find fossils for Cranidos. Yeah, the Pokemon with basically the highest attack stat in the game. Let's use its special attack because I'm quirky. To be fair, just look at that special moveset though. It was a real pain obtaining a fossil. Apparently, they're uncommon rarity, but I found so many rare items. Type boosting plates, shards, etc. I mean, they're all useful, so I'll take it, but this still took me over an hour with speed up. With the fossil obtained, we can revive it back in Orberg. Meet Cranidos, or Brainidos, timid nature. I head back to use these newbies to clear out the routes up to Veilstone, evolving Mage Chop and Brainidos in preparation for Gym 4. The team, now roughly at level 30, has seen significant improvements moveset wise. Kadabrawler now has Zen Headbutt, courtesy of the move tutor. Mr. Thimble is making good use of Hustle, with Return, Brick Break, and the never missing Air Release. Roars isn't a permanent team member, so his moves aren't too good. Thrashly with Shadow Claw, Sucker Punch, Secret Power and Curse. Brainidos with Ancient Power, Shockwave, still lacking a bit, but just stay tuned. And there's Mage Chop, with every PP up spent on its 2 powerful attacks. After all these improvements, surely Maylene will be a joke. I lead Kadabrawler to her Meditite. A lucky Rock to miss lets Kadabrawler knock out Meditite for free. Zen Headbutt takes him her Chocolo, but this time Rock 2 lands, crits, taking us to the red. One more Headbutt, nabs the knockout. Just Lucario left, which quickly knocks Kadabrawler out. And I'm thinking, let's give Mr. Thimble a chance to shine. He does alright not missing Brick Breaks, but the damage did underwhelm me a little. A Metal Claw knocks him out, even netting Lucario an attack boost. Despite this, I send in Mage Chop, who tanks the hit and knocks out the Lucario. Not a free fight, but a comfortable victory. Before heading to Pastoria City, I update some nicknames. Mage Chop is now Mage Choke, Thrashly is now Haunter, and Brainidos is now Wizardos, as he will soon be an Elemental Master. Now we can go to Pastoria City, and as I head to the gym, I'm stopped again by Barry. It's time for our government-mandated rival battle. Honestly, this time round, it went a lot smoother, despite how high leveled he is. Until his Monferno scores a few KOs, but Mr. Thimble is able to air release its final hit point. I always feel a bit underleveled at this point. The opponents receive a sudden level spike. So before taking on Wake, I evolve Roars to Torterra. The stat increase is amazing, and I hope will outweigh the con of becoming neutral to water and quad weak to ice. We'll see. Wake leads Gyarados and I Wizardos. I'm hoping to get a Shockwave off before fainting. Or not, that's fine. I sort of flounder the next few turns, sending in Mr. Thimble that faints very quickly, and Haunter Shadow Claw does next to nothing. But Roars does, just barely, faint it. Floatzel out next, and if I have any chance to win, it's keeping Roars alive. So I switch in Kadabrawler, which just dies before doing anything. All I need is Mage Choke to win this 1v1. Brian takes him to the yellow, Focus Blast takes off half. Yeah, that's GG. Floatzel knocks out Mage Choke and subsequently Roars soon after. Our first defeat from a gym leader. I'm surprised it took so long, but I think the pathway to victory is clear. We're underleveled and I'm yet to clear the route west of here, which is absolutely massive. Plenty of XP to go around. Now everybody's at level 32 or above, let's have our rematch. This time I'm leading with Haunter and immediately Curse. Dooming Haunter, but this DOT is crucial. I switch to Mr. Thimble and the plan is simple. Tank, Waterfall, then Fly. In combination with Curse, this takes down Gary. Second is Floatzel. No other choice really, but letting Mr. Thimble go down. Now Mage Choke, like before, get some damage on the board, and just like before, faints before landing the second Focus Blast. Next in, Kadabrawler. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking here. Praying we outsped, but it wasn't meant to be. Okay, we're still in this. Roars time. I know Floatzel has Ice Fang, but without Stab, I think he can tank one. Just barely, but now an Overgrow means Grass Knot easily KOs. And we've won. Wake's final mon is Quagsire, and there's just no way it's gonna survive. Gym 5 is done and dusted. After that hard-earned victory, I think it's about time I treated myself to a bit of trading. We have 3 trade evolutions, so it was only a matter of time. And I think after Gym 5 seems fair. I load up my save file from my trapping my girlfriend in Pokemon video. Yeah, she's still trapped in there. I could have cheated the evolution in, but I wanted to feel a bit more legit doing this. For the time being, I only trade Kadabrawler. I think she could use the stat increase the most, with our fancy new Alakazam with a base attack of 50, equal to threats like Natu or Lombre. I head back to Route 210 with the potion to make those Psyducks move, and at this point, I wasn't going to, but a friend convinced me to catch my final team member here. Say hi to Scyther. Technician ability, Relax Nature. We have the TM for Silverwind, boosted to 90 base power from Technician, and the move Relearner's Vacuum Wave boosted to 60 base power. Progressing forward to Celestic Town, we have our first head-on encounter with Team Galactic's leader, Cyrus. He leads Sneasel to me, Haunter. Not good. I quickly switch in Mage Choke, who nabs the knockout, but sustains heavy damage. Golbat out second, an easy job for Wizardos. Looks like Ancient Power will be a 3-shot. Oh. Oh, wait. What? What the heck? Okay, Kadabrawler safely switches in and grabs the KO. And now it's just his measly Murkrow left. Surely it won't sweep me, right? Yeah, it managed to sweep me. To be fair, I played badly. Let's be a bit smarter for round 2. This time we lead Mage Choke, eliminating Sneasel and taking no damage. Now with Golbat, just don't get hit by the same insane RNG. It actually is close, but Wizardos does come out on top. Now for Murkrow the Menace. It easily KOs Wizardos, and I'm not mucking about. Straight into Haunter, except Murkrow outspeeds and one-shots with Feint Attack. Fine then, Kadabrawler with Reflect, if you please, and switch to Scyther for silver wins. The strategy is basically what I did last time, so I'm not sure why I think it'll work better this time, and... oh, a crit. Well, that's one way to do it. I can't believe how threatening one Murkrow was to my whole team, though. Anyway, Cyrus dips out, and I'm given the HM for Surf. Perfect for Wizardos. Of course. I surf around, finding useful TMs like Thunderbolt for Wizardos. All this side questing has made me forget something very important though. Updating nicknames. I rename Kadabrawler to Alakazam. I shall give you a clobberin. Cypher becomes Zephyr, which means calm breeze, considering all her attacks are wind-based and will hit like a calm breeze with her special attack stat. After doing absolutely everything else, I'm forced to continue the plot. Surfing west from Jubilife to Canalave City to obtain Gym Badge number 6. Well, not before Barry jump scares me. He's already claimed Badge 6. My man lives life like a speedrun. Knowing he'll lead Staraptor, I lead Wizardos. Despite Barry's attempt at evasion cheese, Ancient Power lands twice, and we even score the Omni Boost from it. A +1 Thunderbolt deals with Floatzel, and as Heracross comes in, I'm concerned about a fighting attack, but I want to capitalise on this boost. Ancient Power does almost half, and Heracross Night Slashes? Nice. Next turn, Heracross is brought to the red, but Barry decides to use his 2 brain cells, and Brick breaks, knocking Wizardos out. Haunter switches in to use its new Poison Jab, scoring the KO. Infernape appears and deals with Haunter, but not before losing over half health and becoming poisoned. Lastly, Alakazam cleans up, dealing with Infernape and Roserade. With Barry out the way, it's our turn to claim the Mind Badge. And I'm thinking this will be a cakewalk. I have so much confidence in the matchup, I think our level 38 special attacking Machoke can sweep. Tell you what, I'll let you evolve Mage Choke if you sweep this fool. Deal? Yeah, Byron's team is really weak to special fighting attacks, which I guess aren't that common, but literally a special attacking Machoke clean swept his team without taking any damage. Now we have a Mage Champ at our disposal. Also, I did a little emulator change because I think this looks cleaner. Let me know what you guys think though. Before continuing onwards, I decided to clear out Iron Island. Originally I was going to use a Steelix, mainly because, fun fact, it learns Dark Pulse, and you can find them naturally in the wild, which is cool. After making it through Iron Island, I think Zephyr has proved herself worthy. Using a Metal Coat I stole earlier from a Magnemite, I trade for Scizor. We just got the Flash Cannon TM from Byron, so this feels like an appropriate time to evolve. No stat increase for special attack, but a Bug Steel type should do wonders for our defensive abilities. Also, we found a shiny stone. I forgot to add that in my script originally, but yeah, we also got Togekiss on Iron Island. We listened to Rowan's lecture in the Canalave library. He drones on. I don't know what about though. I'm a Pokemon player, I don't read the story, but he's interrupted by an explosion at Lake Valor. We're at the other end of the region. If it caused tremors this strong, then surely the surrounding towns and cities would be in ruins. So I head on over, feeling sorry for the poor Magikarp, and enter Lake Valor's cavern to fight Commander Saturn for the first time. Is he tough? Well no, he uses a frickin' Bronzor, and Toxicroak would be alright if we didn't have the hard counter Zen Headbutt. Easiest Commander fight so far. I head back to Lake Verity to see how Dawn has gotten on with her Commander fight. It's Team Galactic. I couldn't beat this person. Alright, let my team of weirdos handle this. Another Bronzor. They evolve at level 33. Why are these commanders not evolving them? Her Purugly is far less of a threat this time round, especially with Zephyr's amazing defense and natural resistance. With the commanders dealt with, I'm free to head north to Snow Point City. It's a slow, arduous route, but I appreciate the change in scenery, making sure to full clear it. Finally, I make it to Snow Point City, and I really like the music here. It's so relaxing. I appreciate the tone shift after the blizzard I had to trudge through. The gym here is Ice type, if you can believe it. And as a kid, I remember royally struggling figuring out this gym puzzle. As a highly intelligent adult, it was pretty simple. I'm expecting another simple gym battle here. The team matches up nicely against Ice, especially with Mage Champ's no guard ability denying any hail evasion cheese. The battle begins. Candace leads Sneasel with my Mage Champ. We're hit by Slash. Pitiful. And Focus Blast absolutely destroys it. Next in is Frostlass. Its Psychic takes the Mage low, and a retaliatory Fire Blast brings it down to the yellow. So I switch into Zephyr. We need to test out that shiny new Flash Cannon. Double team from Frostlass does complicate things a bit, but thankfully we knock it out before it gets out of hand. Third is Abomasnow. Zephyr takes it low, but I always forget Abomasnow isn't as slow as it looks, and a surprise Focus Blast takes us out. Haunter switches in for the Poison Jab knockout, and now it's just Pile of Swine left. Alakazam switches in for the Reflect, just to ensure we win, and Mage Champ one-hit KOs with a Focus Blast. Gym 7 down. With that, let's trade one last time. I love you, Haunter, but Gengar's raw stats will be needed if we are to win this challenge. I do a bit more exploring with all the new rock climbing areas, getting some more XP before taking on the Galactic HQ in Veilstone City. A lot of easy grunts to pass through before making it to the big dog again, who again leads with Sneasel, and me with Wizardos. The moveset is beautiful to look at, by the way. Wizardos takes heavy damage but takes out Sneasel. His Crobat is next, something I thought Alakazam would deal with nicely, but unfortunately we're outsped. Backup strat? Zephyr can tank and finish it off. Now just the Honchkrow to go. As a Murkrow, it swept my team before. How about now? I keep Zephyr into feint, and at least it tanks a hit to dish out some damage. Let's try Mr. Thimble. He does bring it fairly low again, but loses the 1v1. Haunter switches in and takes it out with a Poison Jab. The speed drop from Murkrow to Honchkrow really helped here. We head deeper in to free the Lake Trio, only to be stopped by Smelly Saturn again. Still using a Bronzor, by the way. He quickly loses. We free out the trio and head toward the peak of Mount Coronet. Not before changing Haunter's nickname to Genspar, because I guess she'll spar with you. She'll throw hands. As I was saying, we go through Mount Coronet, reach its peak, and are stopped one last time by Commanders Mars and Jupiter. Barry comes to our rescue though, and makes this a fairly simple fight. 2 Bronzors, by the way. We defeat them so quickly, surely we can stop Cyrus before he does whatever he's planning. I, Cyrus, won't have any more interfere. I love this cutscene. Cyrus is taken to the Distortion World, and so what choice do we have but to follow? But it was at this point I realised something. I've never completed Platinum. I've never gone through the Distortion World. I've only ever played through Sinnoh with my copy of Pearl I've had since I was a kid. Just to sidetrack for a minute, the Distortion World is so cool. I've always loved the music, but hearing it in-game was on another level. Seeing occasional dialogue from Cynthia, Cyrus, and spotting glimpses of the Lake Guardians and Giratina felt pretty intense. I've been playing through on 2x speed, but when I got here, I turned speed up off to properly enjoy this area. Walking on the walls and ceiling must have felt so mesmerising, playing this when Platinum released. A big jump from the graphics and abilities of Gen 3 on the GBA. I got lost in this place. It took me a while, but I did track down Cyrus. I saved the game, approached the oldest 27-year-old of all time, and initiated the battle. His Houndoom to my Wizardos. Dark Pulse does a number on us, Ancient Power deals good damage back. Roar switches in as fodder. Next in, Genspar. Poison Jab lands, but no KO. Poisoned at least. A miscalculation. A double KO. Wizardos back in. Honchkrow in. Ancient Power takes it below half, but Psychic takes out the wizard. Mr. Thimble next. Return, please do enough. A crit! It may have mattered. Weavile in. Zephyr's turn. Ice Punch freezes, immediate thaw, a full restore. It's close, but Zephyr wins the war of attrition. Gyarados next, Earthquakes for the KO. Mr. Thimble again, Ice Fang, return. It was a speed tie, another return, and Waterfall KOs Mr. Thimble. It's all up to Alakazam. Zen Headbutt needs to flinch. Ice Fang. We lose. Genspar sent in. Poison Jab doesn't do much, and Waterfall brings her low. We might as well curse at this point. Alakazam is sent in. We reflect since Gyarados probably tanks a hit anyway. Gary Giga impacts, letting us freely knock it out, denying Cyrus a chance to heal. He's down to his last Pokemon, Crobat. It still outspeeds, but thankfully we live in Air Slash, and deal heavy damage with Zen Headbutt. A second Air Slash does knock her out, but Zephyr is still in the back. We tank an Air Slash, don't flinch, and Flash Cannon doesn't net the KO. But this is why Priority Scissor is OP. This exact use case, Vacuum Wave. Cyrus is defeated and he storms off like a little goo goo gaga baby. Before I enter the real world, I catch Giratina, not like it matters for this run anyway. With that cleared up, we can make it over to Sunyshore City and fight Volkner. This sad lad is just too strong, nobody can give him a good challenge. Well my man, let me introduce you to Drain Punch, Alakazam and crew. I lead Mr. Thimble into his Jolteon. A strange lead you may think, but Jolteon's only electric attack is Charge Beam and has low HP and defense. If there's ever an opening for him, it's here. It pays off with 2 returns grabbing the KO in exchange for half his HP and paralysis. Next in is Raichu. Similar thoughts to Jolteon here, so we stay in, tank a Charge Beam and return back. Oh, okay, not ideal. I don't want to muck around too much with a +1 Raichu, so Genspar comes in, Poison Jabs, which as I was expecting will be enough to 2-hit KO. Halfway there, Luxray switches in, Genspar gets a last ditch and Poison Jab off before fainting to a crunch. Our Mage comes out blasting, which unfortunately doesn't quite KO, and there's the full restore. No matter, Focus Blast takes it back to the yellow, and I Vacuum Wave for some small chip. Luxray, however, gets damage rolled, and we barely survive. An extra Vacuum Wave, which crits. How lucky are we? Just his Electivire left, which quick attacks before Mage Champ can even squeak in a Vacuum Wave. Alakazam switches in and sets up a Reflect. Zen Headbutt does good damage, bringing Electivire to half before being KO'd. Zephyr comes in. I know Electivire has Fire Punch, so I want to capitalise on the Reflect to tank while I can. Silver Wind doesn't quite do enough, nor does the following Vacuum Wave, and Zephyr goes down. At this point, Wizardo switches in, tanks a T-Punch and Ancient Powers for the knockout. All 8 gym badges with this team of outcasts. With nothing stopping us, we head up to Victory Road, slowly but surely clear out the place, and make it to the Pokemon League. Where of course, big lad Barry demands one last battle before we take on the Elite Four. He leads Staraptor to our Wizardos. We barely tank close combat, and thanks to the lowered speed F, Ancient Power knocks it right out. I switch into Mage Champ on Floatzel, Focus Blast takes it to the red, and before landing the finishing blow, a rare switch from the AI into Heracross. At this point I just let Mage Champ faint, which gives us a safe switch to Mr. Thimble to Aerial Ace. Floatzel comes back in, we're hit by an Ice Fang, but Floatzel's knocked out by a return. Snorlax next, we Brick Break, dealing almost half and barely survive Body Slam. So I switch into Genspar, 2 Poison Jabs just being enough, and Genspar just hangs on. A last ditch Poison Jab on Infernape, before being turned to ashes, and now Alakazam can sweep. Zen Headbutt Infernape, Zen Headbutt Roserade. Barry firmly put in his place. Before starting the E4 challenge, I do a bit of last minute grinding to get everybody up to a clean level 50. Admittedly, that is still a bit underleveled, but my team has been doing good, and I want to see if I can be a bit cheeky here. It takes a bit of time, but eventually we enter the E4 for real. First it's Aaron the Bug Bandit. He leads with Yanmega against Mr. Thimble. It's a brief exchange of flying attacks, but Yanmega goes down. Aaron ain't mucking around as he immediately switches in his ace Drapion. Mr. Thimble is too valuable to sack just yet, so I switch to Mage Champ, who faints rather quickly. As I forget, Drapion knows Aerial Ace. Next in is Zephyr, and with her amazing typing easily wears down Drapion without sustaining much damage. Heracross out third, we tank its close combat, deal half with Flash Cannon, then switch into Genspar, who knocks it out with Poison Jab. Now out comes Aaron's own Scizor. We curse as I'm really just angling a safe switch in for Wizardos to Fire Blast it. Good thing we didn't miss. Pretty quickly we're against Aaron's final Pokemon, Vespiquen, the 4 times Rock Weak Pokemon. So after a few more turns, Wizardos secures the KO. Our first Elite Four member is easily defeated. Hopefully the following battles will be just as straightforward. We'll see, as next is Bertha, the ground type expert. She leads Whiscash against Mr. Thimble. Return does solid damage, and the following Aerial Ace brings it to a full restore range. Another return takes it to half again, but before we can land the finishing blow, Bertha switches to Golem. Okay, my bad, didn't know you were good. I end up switching to Wizardos and Surf. Without Stab, 65 base special attack, with the Sandstorm special defense boost Rock types receive, it's still KO'd. I'm embarrassed for you, Golem. Whiscash switches in again, and I'm hoping Mr. Thimble can nab the KO. Except return misses. Backup plan? Just start blasting. Gliscor next. Genspar switches in on the Earthquake. It's the perfect time to try her new move tutor attack, Ice Punch. With Gliscor's great defense, it can tank one, but next turn a second punch seals the deal. Fourth, Hippowdon. Ice Punch isn't going to be nearly as effective here, so we curse. Alakazam comes in to set up a Reflect, just for our mage to pick off the Hippo safely. Last out, Rhyperior. Focus Blast sends it to the yellow, and Earthquake, thanks to Reflect, keeps the mage alive. One last Focus Blast, and Rhyperior goes down. The second E4 member defeated just as easily as the first, but this is where the Elite Four starts to heat up. Flint the Firefella is third. A mage against a dog. We sustain heavy damage from Flamethrower, but Focus Blast sends the pooch to the pound. Rapidash second. Honestly not sure how much more value our mage has here, so I keep her in. And the horse bounces. I completely forgot, but Focus Blast still hits a target in the air. No Guard is such a cool ability. This gives us the perfect opportunity to switch into Wizardos. Bounce does pitiful damage, and I know this Rapidash knows Solar Beam, but the AI in its infinite wisdom bounces again. Okay, it even misses. You noob. And Surf lands the KO. Third is Infernape, hard switch Genspar on the Earthquake. Poison Jab does a third, and Flare Blitz, we somehow survive on 1 HP. Next turn I don't want to risk Poison Jab not KOing, so I opt for the safer Curse. This does mean Flint will heal, but Togekiss flies, and with the Curse damage, and Fly actually landing, Infernape goes down. Magmortar comes in fourth, and is by far the biggest threat on his team. I stay in, but Thunderbolt crits, which mattered. Wizardos comes in next to Rain Dance, but I severely underestimate how much damage a T-Bolt would do, and our wizard faints before dealing any damage. Alakazam tries to score some flinches, but luck doesn't go our way, and she too faints. Now the mage. I'm confident he can live a T-Bolt. He does barely, but we're struck by the 10% power chance, and of course, get fully paralysed. That's a 2.5% chance of happening, by the way. And with just Zephyr left, our hope of winning has disappeared. I retried this battle so many times, but this Magmortar was a curse. It kept hitting the 10% statuses from T-Bolts and Flamethrower, landing crits. It was such a wall I decided to go back and train a few levels, nothing major, just to level 53, the same as Aaron's ace. Additionally, I did some EV training to really push the team to their limit, and we returned to the Elite Four with a vengeance. I easily beat Aaron and Bertha and make it back to Flint in no time. The opening strat hasn't changed much, except Houndoom used Sunny Day. Rapidash next, and for some reason doesn't Flare Blitz. So we get to Focus Blast. I Vacuum Wave expecting the Flare Blitz to take us out, but we score a crit, taking the horse out. Flareon next, let's keep it up. Focus Blast, and there's Overheat. Tell you what though, our mage took down half of Flint's team. Mr. Thimble next, who flies, thinking it'll be enough thanks to Flareon's poor defense, which turns out to be the case. Only 2 to go. Infernape in, and stuff it. Tank the Flare Blitz, just fly. Unfortunately, Hustle strikes again, and we miss. Okay, fine, Wizardos go, eat the Flare Blitz, now double to Genspar. Genspar takes it low, but succumbs to 2 Flare Blitzes. At this point, Alakazam can outspeed and pick him off. Just Magmortar left. It's a rough start with Zen Headbutt missing. The second one does land at least, no flinch, and we go down to Flamethrower. Wizardos next, and luckily Magmortar charges up a Solar Beam, letting us surf scot-free. And we found a use for Zephyr at least. She can safely switch in and do a tiny bit of Vacuum Wave damage. After she faints, Wizardos is back in, tanks a Thunderbolt, and honestly, the Vacuum Wave may have made the difference here, as Surf lands the knockout. Flint is down. Before heading to Lucian, throughout this run I've been hunting down every rare candy I could find. I ended up with 18. I used most of them here, but save a few as I'm not quite sure how I want to distribute the XP before facing Cynthia. For now though, our powered up team is ready for Lucian. He leads with Mr. Mime, and with its low HP and defense, I'm hoping a spell tag boosted Shadow Claw will do the trick. Yeah, a crit will do it. Espeon second. The Shadow Claw brings him incredibly low, but a retaliatory Psychic just wrecks Genspar. It's about time Zephyr took center stage for this Elite Four. Lucian full restores and Silver Wind is looking like a 2-shot. Psychic doesn't do much but does lower her special defense. A second Silver Wind takes it down, unfortunately without granting an Omni boost. Alakazam next. And you know what would be fun? A mirror match. This will put to the test which Alakazam build is better. They trade blows, both dealing roughly the same amount to each other, until a very skillful Zen Headbutt flinch to gain the upper hand, with a follow-up Ice Punch taking it down. Clearly then, Physical Alakazam's better than Special Alakazam. Who's with me? Fourth is Bronzong, and Alakazam, completing its personal mission, sets a reflect for the team before being taken out. The Mage switches in, Fire Blast brings it to the yellow, tanks a Psychic, and a second Fire Blast knocks it out. What a menace. Lucian's Ace Gallade now switches in, swiftly dispatching of our Mage. Mr. Thimble takes his place, enacting revenge for his fallen brethren. One critical hit air release is all it takes. Lucian, you're just outmatched. Maybe if you spec'd Physical Alakazam, you'd have had a chance. Now all that's left is the champion. I have a strategy in mind for Cynthia. Step 1, give Alakazam the Nevermelt Ice. Step 2, use the last of my rare candies. Step 3, pray. The music is so good here, it really gets my nerves nerving. She accepts our league challenge and the battle begins. Her lead is Spiritomb and I lead with Genspar. Okay, here's the plan. Turn 1 Curse. I really don't know how else I can deal with this tanky, no weakness Pokemon. We sacrifice Genspar, but I think it's necessary. Next in, Mr. Thimble. The classic Fly Curse strat we've used before. Except Fly misses. Really, now of all times? Thankfully Dark Pulse doesn't do much, and at this point, Air Release lands the KO. Next, Cynthia sends out Togekiss. I'm fine with this mirror match. We have a great special defense. We fly again, dealing just over a third, and Shockwave only hit us for 60. Air Release next. I don't want to put him in full restore range if I can help it. Another Shockwave, but as expected, we live. Now all out power with Fly nabbing the knockout. Lucario comes out next. Zephyr pivots in, eating an extreme speed, and I double to the Mage on Stone Edge, before Focus Blasting. We take an Aura Sphere, but our Mage is bulky enough to survive it, and one hit KO Lucario in return. Halfway there, and we've only lost Genspar. Roserade's fourth, and this is Zephyr's best matchup, but it's far from free. Consecutive silver wins take Roserade down to half, before succumbing to many turns of resisted hits. Mr. Thimble switches back in, he should outspeed here, and he does, and Air Release nets the KO. Fifth is Milotic, another scary matchup with how bulky it is. I need to go all out and fly. Prey on Milo's worst defense stat, and luckily we land. It does around half, but an Ice Beam easily takes him out. Now this may sound weird, but I'm running low on resources, so Wizardo switches in. I read up on Cynthia's stats, and this should actually be a speed tie. We outspeed? Thunderbolt doesn't quite do enough, and Cynthia mirror coats. Really? You see a Rampardos and you think to click that move instead of Surf? I mean, okay, we live at least, but the full restore next turn complicates things. Thunderbolt takes it back to 2/3, but the Wizard's time is up. Ice Beam takes him out. Only Alakazam and Mage Champ are left. I really hope Zen Headbutt will do enough. It does. Milo down. Now all that's left is her dreaded Garchomp at a whopping level 62. This is why I taught Alakazam Ice Punch, but at this point, I'm the one frozen. I haven't done this yet, but I used the damage calculator. It tells us Ice Punch will do a bit over half, but we may as well reflect here. We risk the crit, but it'll hopefully let Mage Champ survive a hit if need be. Dragon Rush. No crit. Nothing to do but Ice Punch. A crit, a freeze, we win. Oh, right, the Citrus Berry. I don't think Mage Champ can knock Garchomp out from that much health. We were so close. Dragon Rush missed? Hold up, this is probably a damage roll, but come on Alakazam. Oh my goodness. You know, if you've seen my Fixing Sinnoh's Elite Four video, I like Dragon Rush just for the hype factor. The roll of the dice. What a perfect showcase. Oh my god, that felt amazing. We've become champions. I'm so proud of them. They did way better than I thought. Would I recommend any of these Pokemon for your playthrough? Honestly, Nogar Machamp was a lot of fun, and easy to get up and running. Maybe give them a go next time you play through Sinnoh. But anyway, that's all from me. If you've enjoyed, please like and subscribe, as I'm down to do more runs like this in the future. I hope you all have a good day. I'll see you later.